Okay, Christina here to listen to some music. And today's music selection is Darling, Be Home Soon by the Lovin Spoonful. So I've never heard of this band before. Maybe I've heard their music and just didn't know it. Sometimes that's the case. But I did look it up just a little bit. This band started in 1964 and the song was released in 1967. So full-on 60s band here. And they're from the United States. But that's about all I know. So when I hear them, will I recognize them? Will I recognize this song? I don't think I know this song because, nothing about it, not the title, nothing sounds familiar. But that's okay. That's why I'm here. To broaden my musical horizons, but also offer something for all of you. For those just getting to know me, I am a professional classically trained musician, instrumentalist, vocalist, composer, professor. So we talk about everything when it comes to this music. Sometimes it's just how it makes me feel in the moment. Sometimes I catch certain instruments that maybe you've not heard before, or that maybe you're waiting for me to hear. And sometimes I throw in some nerdy musical terms. It's always fun to dip into some nerddom every now and then, so join me. Music nerds are awesome. But in general, we're here just to participate in the musical community, enjoy the music that we're listening to, recognize the artists, and maybe learn a little something along the way. Okay, but that's enough talking. Let's listen.
Come and talk of all the things we did today. Here and laugh about our funny little ways while we have a few minutes to breathe. And I know that it's time you must leave, but darling, be home soon. I couldn't bear to wait an extra minute if you dawdle. My darling, be home soon. It's not just these few hours, but I've been waiting since I toddled, for the great relief of having you to talk to. And now a quarter of my life is almost past. I think I come to see myself at last, and I see that the time spent confused was the time that I spent without you. And I feel myself in blue. So darling, be home soon. I couldn't bear to wait an extra minute if you dawdle. My darling, be home soon. It's not just these few hours, but I've been waiting since I toddled, for the great relief of having you to talk to.
Okay. It sounds like we're getting into a really beautiful little musical interlude in the middle. I'll back it up and get back into that again. But I just wanted to say so far that this is really touching. Something about a quarter of this person's life has gone by, and this person is just sort of professing their love to someone else. And I'm assuming it's romantic, but it could be any kind of love. Just saying that they're just not as happy unless that person is around. That's really nice. I really like that. So far, I'm charmed. I'm really charmed by this song already. I almost got a little teary, almost. And it almost seems like it's a happy song. It's very 60s. But I hear a lot of the typical instrumentation of this era. And honestly, it's almost kind of reminding me of like a TV show theme song, like from the 60s or 70s. I'm trying to think I used to watch a lot of Nick at Night once upon a time, so I know a lot of these retro shows. The Monkees. This is like the Monkees, which is sort of like the ultimate fourth wall rock band / TV show. And I love the Monkees. here we come, walking down the street. But this sort of is reminiscent of that, but I feel like maybe a little bit more serious, like an actual band and not a TV show band, but even though they were an actual band. But anyway, this is really lovely. So again, the instrumentation, there was some brass thrown in there, some definite strings. The warmth of the strings came in and it was really, really lovely. There's sort of the steady drum beat, but at the same time, there was some play with the meter. It didn't ever bore you. It sort of kept your attention. It would almost skip a beat. So it wasn't just 1, 2, 3, 4. It would cut one of those off just a little tiny bit and then add it back in a measure or two later, just to keep you on your toes, just to have your little heart skip a beat along with the meaning behind the song. And so then the vocals came in, and at first it was just in this ear and it was kind of soft, almost haunting, but then it became a little bit more passionate, almost like this person is trying to profess their love to someone or about someone, but it's almost like they were a little bit shy at first. And so we're headed into something heavier here. And maybe it's just like, you know what? This person's just going to go for it and just lay it all out there and just put all of their love out there to show everyone, to show this person, to show the situation. So I'm going to back it up just a little bit because I want to hear a little bit more of the instrumentation, and then I want to hear what we're getting into because there was something big about to happen right in the middle here. Love it.
Life is almost past. I think I come to see myself at last, and I see that the time spent confused was the time that I spent without you, and I feel myself in blue. So darling, be home soon. I couldn't bear to wait an extra minute if you dawdle. My darling, be home soon. It's not just these few hours, but I've been waiting since I toddled for the great relief of having you to talk to. An extra minute if you dawdle. My darling, be home soon. It's not just these few hours, but I've been waiting since I toddled for the great relief of having you to talk to. Go and beat your crazy head against the sky. Try and see beyond the houses and your eyes. It's okay to shoot the moon. Darling, be home soon. I couldn't bear to wait an extra minute if you dawdle. My darling, be home soon. It's not just these few hours, but I've been waiting since I toddled for the great relief of having you to talk to.
My goodness. That was really beautiful. And what a great ending. I always say that not all musical artists out there know how to end their songs. This one's a hard one to end, and I actually think I like what they did with it. It was just a simple slowdown, just a retard, a rallentando. It wasn't necessarily a fade out completely, and just stating matter-of-factly that you're just somebody that I want to talk to. That's really beautiful. I like that a lot. A simple ending for a simple statement there at the end. So I want to just quickly check over the lyrics because I think I caught most of them, but I sort of want to admire them a little bit more. So the one word that I enjoyed the most, I think, was the word dawdled. I couldn't bear to wait an extra minute if you dawdled. I've been waiting since I toddled for the great relief of having you to talk to. Oh, I love that. I also feel like this is sort of a proclamation of someone maturing in life, talking about that I feel myself in bloom. I think this person is just really realizing what's important to them. Oh, okay, and so then go and beat your crazy head against the sky. Try and see beyond the houses and your eyes. It's okay to shoot the moon. Oh, it sounds almost like saying goodbye, but I think that's even more clever because it leaves it more open for the interpretation of maybe saying goodbye to a true love or a loved one or even a parent sending their child off into the world. I can see how this song would mean a lot to a lot of people. And just because of that, it's very touching. The vocals are also very simple. The voice is very smooth sounding and very well in tune. However, there was one little spot towards the beginning that was a little bit pitch bending, but it might have been a stylistic choice because I'm assuming we didn't have auto-tune and things like this when this was recorded. It's just very soothing, and it's not like velvety, like the crooners from the 40s and the 50s. This is more just simple, just from the heart, singing the notes. And the melody line was actually a little bit complex. Bum, 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 bum. I enjoy a complex melody line. And then I definitely did hear some interplay in the middle with the rhythm and the meter, where in an 8-bar phrase, they sort of pull one beat out here, but then sort of add it back in over here. It was very clever. Again, just enough to keep you engaged and really want to participate in the listening. So I think actually I want to go back and listen to a little bit of that interlude again. It was really fun. I loved hearing all the brass. I think I heard a whole bunch of like saxophones and trumpets. There's nothing better than a trumpet line in a 1960s or a 1970s pop tune. You know what I mean? What's one that I remember? Fogelberg. Longer by Dan Fogelberg. Oh, so beautiful. And of course you have to have the strings. You have to. It's not the icing on the cake. It's the warmth that bakes the cake. So let's go back and hear just a little bit. See if we can catch some of that instrumental interlude.
My darling, be home soon.
There's some of the pitch bending.
It's not just these few hours, but
he's in between pitches, but I think it's on purpose.
For the great
beautiful. That's a fun last line.
Extra minute if you dawdle. My darling, be home soon. It's not just these few hours, but I've been waiting since I toddled for the great relief of having you to talk to.
It's such an interesting last line to that verse. It almost cuts the meter off a little bit. I think that this lead singer's voice is really gentle and beautiful. And the way he's using his voice, where it's da-da-da-dum-ba-dum, and he kind of goes from his chest voice, da-da-dum-bum-ba-dum-bum, and then he goes up into a higher head voice up there, and he just kind of floats. And it's seamless. And I love that. It almost cracks over his break, but then he doesn't allow it to. But it's just, it adds to the emotion of the piece, and I really love it. And it's those little touches that sometimes we take for granted, but I hear it, and it's getting to me. This is just a pretty little song. And again, it could mean a lot to a lot of people. Okay, so that was the Lovin Spoonful. Never had heard of them before. I've not heard this song before. Apparently they were kind of popular, so maybe I have heard something else they've done, but that'll be for another time. But I think they're just some songs that we need to have in our libraries where we can go to sort of accompany our lives at that moment. Sometimes we want a really sad song and just have a good cry. Sometimes we need a ballad or a hard rock song to get some energy. But a song like this kind of falls in between, where it's not really happy, it's not really sad. It just kind of makes you feel good. And you're just kind of glad that it exists. So I'm glad that this exists, and I'm glad that now I know it exists. So I'm so glad this was recommended. What a fabulous peek into the 1960s. And I can't wait for more. So everyone, please bring in lots of suggestions. Leave them in the comments. And as always, just be okay. And keep listening.